Wabanabiekna, mega de spela madiek, Bukula de Muja, Wabanabiek.
Win. We are here in Millbrook First Nation, and in particular, we're at the studio of Alan Syliboy. Alan, Walipsikbug, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
You're an incredible and well-known artist, musician, multi-talented. So the big fun question I love to ask our Mi'kmaq artists is, what sparked your interest? How did you get started? How did the journey begin?
Well, it really started, when I was a child, and I started school, and when I started school, there was we weren't allowed to speak our language, and I was pretty fluent in Mi'kmaq at the time. And so when I got to school, I didn't have my language. My Mi'kmaq was my first language. And so I wasn't really prepared for school, I think. And so school didn't go well for me. And as a result, the only thing I could do was I could draw, and that was a kind of refuge for me. So that's what I did, and sort of an underground artist that way. And my classmates were my first audience. So that was the only real positive in the early days, and that's something I just continued my whole life. I've always, memories as far as I can go back, I've been making some kind of images.
Is this your first studio of your own here?
This is the first real public studio that I've ever had. I've had studios before, but they were more workspaces. This is the first time it's a destination and people can come.
I could not help but notice it seems to be inspired or similar to some of the petroglyphs we have seen at Kejimikujik National Park there.
The start of everything was the petroglyphs. Shirley Bear was a Maliseet artist, and she had a program in the United States in the early 1970s, and she recruited me for a program there, and taught me how to paint, but I got to study under several artists in New England. And the idea was that we would do workshops in indigenous communities all over the Maritimes and Maine. And so that was a very leading edge program, because Mi'kmaq, teaching Mi'kmaq, it was something never done. It was always from outside. So to teach it, to have our own teachers, and that was the idea of the program. And then Shirley Bear, brought a book of petroglyphs to me, and they said, we are artists, but we should not be just, we shouldn't be just landscape artists, or we should have a purpose. And the purpose was to bring these petroglyphs to the Mi'kmaq people, to the world, actually. They were forgotten. So bringing them back, and that was the best way to do it as an artist, to bring back the petroglyphs and reclaim it. And, this has been one of the centerpieces of my whole art career.
Alan, the retail studio part of here is incredible. So my other question is, this working studio, this working area, it's quite fascinating, it's quite large, incredible pieces. Could you share some of this place with us?
Yeah, this is where, I call it the Dream Factory. This is where we do the art, the actual work gets done in here. And I love this space because we just put on some music and we just paint all day. And there is nothing better than painting all day.
With the family?
With the family, absolutely. My family is involved in all aspects. My children work in here at the studio. My son Evan is in my band as well, and my daughter Erin, she works here, in the studio. So, and then I have my grandkids that help me paint. They come and help me produce my art, and so it affects all parts of my family in a positive way. It's fantastic. This is one of the best things about having a place like this, that we can have a lot of jobs and a place to learn and to be together, as a family. But we're also making art, and it's a very positive influence to have this place. It's a legacy.
Yeah, and of course, continue to share our stories with the next generation moving forward.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So I see some very large canvases here too. Some you wouldn't really be able to fit in an average car.
Scale is important to me, and I'm able to do scale in a space like this.
Excellent. It is a very large space. It's an incredible space here. In coming here, we see your name on the studio, but we also see a really nice picture of you. Any story behind that one?
Well, yeah, that's when I was a bit younger, and but Nancy Ackerman was a photographer. She did that. We did lots of projects and films together, actually, years ago, and she did this picture for me, and that tells people I'm an artist, and so it's very important to the brand is to have a picture of that quality. This space is, it's just a workspace at the moment, but in the future we like to do different projects here, like workshops, for instance, and small concerts, and it's a multi-purpose space, and we do all kinds of art pursuits here, and the potential is fantastic. But I think having this as an art center over time, we'll have people come here on a regular basis, and this is a place where we can enjoy our own culture.
Yeah, and you mentioned workshops earlier, so again, pass on skills to other people to share.
Oh yeah, so we'll do workshops, and like drum workshops as well, and we all kinds of different, especially schools and students come by here, and there's potential to do a large reach out into the community is possible in a space like this.
I think when workshops get up and running, I would like to sign up.
Well, absolutely.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
Well, Did you know about the Jade Treaty? Article 3 allows a Mi'kmaq and other First Nations to travel freely into the United States for work, school, as a domestic student rather than a foreign student, living, and public benefits. Mi'kmaq have historically traveled to Maine for work in the summers. I myself worked in Maine in the 1990s, raking blueberries.
These are some of my recent work. I just finished, and then the whale over here. This whale particularly is printed on silk. And then we also do cards and calendars, and then also books. The latest books are here. And then over there we have music. I've done several books, children's books mostly, and I find that doing children's books is a way to get Mi'kmaq people known. That's the way to change the world, is to start again. When I was a child, we weren't in the books. If we were, it was just negative. So this is a positive way to change that. One day I was walking down in Anakin Nation. There was a grade 2 student asked me about, she knew who I was, and she asked me about my book and my creative process, and I was amazed that she knew all about me, and so was quite interested. Even her mother didn't know who I was, but she did.
So back in Dartmouth, where me and my wife live, in Jabukduk, our neighbors had a second son, a child together, and as a congratulatory gift, my wife gave our neighbor's son, who it's a non-Mi'kmaq family, one of your books on learning numbers there. It's our knowledge, our language. It's not just for us. Like, we want to share this with the world. And your books, as you said, it means so much when non-native people are learning, when non-native people are buying our art. So it's not just learn from us. It's, it's supporting artists, Indigenous artists, and Mi'kmaq artists. When we interview other various Mi'kmaq artists as well, a popular thing that comes up is Mi'kmaq quill work. We were wondering, does Mi'kmaq quill work ever inspire any of your art?
Oh, it always does. It's always there. It's part of, it is one of the key figures in Mi'kmaq culture. And I have a piece up here with the 4 whales around this quill basket motif. And it's a 4-direction whale. And this one is going to Dalhousie University, actually, and they purchased this.
Oh, wow. So if you're at Dalhousie, we should be expecting to see this shortly.
Absolutely.
Nice.
It'll be delivered soon.
Another piece I wanted to ask you about here was this incredibly large piece of a turtle. It looks like a person's on top of it. Could you share that one with us, please?
Yeah, this is we live on Turtle Island, and so this is to symbolize a Mi'kmaq chief, and he's smoking a pipe, doing ceremony. So by this piece, what I want to say that on Turtle Island, where we live, we've had ceremony for forever, and so this is something I wanted to symbolize in this piece. There was 2 legends that were not compromised by another culture. They were in their true Mi'kmaq form, and they weren't corrupted. So stone canoe is one of those important legends. So it was found, the story was written in Mi'kmaq, and they didn't translate it. It didn't get to be translated into English. So we know this is a legitimate Mi'kmaq legend in its true form. So Little Thunder is part of that legend. That's the first time I ever heard of Little Thunder and Big Thunder. So, so I based a lot of my information about my culture on that book. Drums are actually one of our biggest items that people have interest in, and we do lots of drums. This is the source of the daily drum right here. Yeah, the daily drum really was something that we just tried for a week. We did it for a week, then we stopped. And then when we stopped, there was so much protest over us not doing the daily drum anymore that we had to restart it. We just had to keep it going, and it's just built up. It's just incredible now. It's everywhere, and but every day we have a different drum, and also we have a message to go with those drums. So there's little bits of culture, little teachings, in all of the drums that we show every day. They have to have their daily drum. It's almost like coffee. It really, they go together, and if we don't do it, even some days we're late because of technical problems, and people are there waiting to see their drums. And it's reached all over the world, and we're really, really happy about how that worked out.
One of the things I'm always learning about was with the Halifax explosion, there was a small Mi'kmaq community at Tufts Cove there, which is found around the Dartmouth side of the McKay Bridge. And I understand you have a bit of an art piece or some work about Tufts Cove. Could you share that with us?
Yeah, I do have a piece that I did a few years ago called Tufts Cove Survivor. During the explosion, half the Tufts Cove village was killed outright. And the survivors, they were sent to different Native communities. So they lost their foothold in the city. And there's a picture of William Prosper on there, and I have a red border around that picture. But he was the last survivor of that of that village. That's why I singled him out. You can see that at the Museum of the Atlantic. If you go outside the court, there's a large piece there. It's I think it's around 10 feet by 24 feet. It's quite large. So we're right where near the explosion happened, and our story is being told by that picture, by that piece. And I'm really proud of that, because I think, we're finally we have our story told
through our voices.
That's right.
Did you know that colors are actually verbs in Mi'kmaq? This is because colors can change over time. The Mi'kmaq believed that everything was in flux and in constant motion, and so this is why Mi'kmaq is a verb-oriented language. On the Halifax Common there, did you have some work to do with that? There's a wigwam with some poles up there.
Yeah, that's called signpost.
Signpost?
Yes, and I did that. All the posts have Mi'kmaq communities, are part of the Mi'kmaq map. So all the districts are represented in that piece.
I'm a lawyer, so sometimes I pay more attention to lawyer ads, and I've seen a few billboards around just Halifax Regional Municipality that I noticed. I think that looks like Alan Syliboy's art.
Absolutely. McGillivray Law, we partnered with them, and we did billboards, I think 17 in the Maritimes. So it was a big project, a big campaign. It's really good to see my work in that format, and I hear about, people see it all the time and they tell me about it. I like that. It's getting the art out there. That was the thing, that I, starting out as an artist, that if you think about the West Coast, and there's Indigenous art is celebrated there, it's everywhere. You can't go anywhere without seeing it. But if you come to the East Coast, we're invisible. We're not here. So, that was always one of my ideas, to get more visible, to get public art out there, and that's what I've been doing. And it's not just myself, but other Mi'kmaq artists from the area are also doing monuments, and we are getting to be more visible. We're catching up, which is really fantastic. It's overdue, but you're going to see us in different places, and the way it should be.
When you would go to the airports out west, Vancouver, for example, Coastal Ash Territory, seeing art, seeing their totem poles, art, culture, and crafts everywhere. And I remember for the longest time, I didn't really see a lot of that in Halifax. And I know it's just in the last couple of years, I've seen your work there, and my cousin back home, Loretta Gould, and her work is there. And, a Mi'kmaq welcome sign just at the airport itself, where it's not just people returning, it's people from elsewhere coming to visit our territory. And I imagine it must be an incredible feeling when they come here, they're seeing your art welcome them to our land.
We should be welcoming them. That should be the first thing they see, is the welcome from us, because we're First Peoples, and it's only fitting.
So of course your art, not just here within Mi'kma'ki, it's throughout the world. What are some of the other countries that your pieces have appeared at?
I did several shows. I did a show in Japan, and been to Europe several times. We did a show in Brussels as well, and Paris, and but now we're selling art, we're shipping art to Italy and Ireland, and the German embassy in Ottawa just bought a piece, and so the work is getting out there, and but it's and also they're coming to this studio to buy it. So You know, it's a very important place to be because now we're a destination, and you can see the social media, you know, the Facebook and so on. I mean, I gained a big audience over the years, but now you know, you can come see me now. I have a place you can actually see me, not just on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's kind of full circle, and it's just working out so well.
Obviously, in addition to being an artist, another part of artists, of course, is music, and you're an accomplished musician yourself. And with the band that you lead, what is the band's name?
Alan Syliboy and the Thundermakers.
Is that where the thunder happens?
Yeah, the Thundermaker, we make the thunder right here. The Thundermakers practice here, and this is the home of the Thundermakers too. So yeah, there's a lot of people, lots of different things living in this space. What I'm doing in this space shows up behind the Thundermakers when we perform.
Okay.
So they are incorporated together. We also have dancers, and they're the Thunder Girls, and we have 2 dancers that dance with the group. That's another important part.
With our show, Migamagi, one incredible thing we have in it is music as our theme song there. And I was wondering if you can share a bit about the artist's magic behind the theme song that we have for Migamagi.
Well, the song is Boogaloo the Mooj. It's on our new album. Morgan Tony's also playing as a special guest. It was written by Hubert Francis, and many years ago. He said when he was 14 years old, he wrote this song, and he knew 2 chords, and that's why it has 2 chords, because that's all he knew at the time. He wrote this song, and it was the early days of the Junos, and this song was nominated then. And then we're looking for new material for our new band, and we just we brought this song back. It's a really authentic Mi'kmaq song. It makes the band feel good when we get to play it.
Could you explain briefly stories or folklore of what is Boogaloo the Mooj?
Boogaloo the Mooj is the little people, and you know, they are everywhere, and they, you know, things happen that you don't know, that you can't explain, and they're probably they play tricks a lot, so they're, you know, you have to find ways to keep them happy. So Boogaloo the Mooj is an important part of our culture, and it's good to have it in contemporary way, like being in a song again, and it's come back to life in a song.
My wife is Irish, so growing up, she often would hear folklore of leprechauns, and when I explained to her what the story behind what Boogaloo the Mooj is, similar to what you were just saying, she would often say to me, it's pretty much the same story about leprechaun folklore as well too. So I found it kind of fascinating with the parallel cultures with that. Alan, just want to say we appreciate this so much, inviting our viewers into your studio and explaining everything to us. Well, Alan.
Maltis, thank you.
Maltis.
Wabanabiekna, mega the Sespela Madiek, Boogaloo the Mooj, Wabanabiek. Boogaloo the Mooj, Wabanabiek, Boogaloo the Mooj, Wabanabiek, Boogaloo the Mooj, Wabanabiek. Boogaloo the Mooj, Samwayak, Bookte, which are Wabasamwayak, Boogaloo the Mooj, Wabasamwayak. Wabanabiek, mega the Sespela Madiek, Boogaloo the Mooj, Wabanabiek.